Hello everyone, Dragana here from Saacibo. I realized I don't have any of my Snippet rolls in the shop, and I had so many fabric offcuts, and this box is overflowing and I have to do something about it. I really enjoy making collages with a paper or fabric, and I've done these before in the past and I really enjoyed the process. And I had this one like this for about a week now, and just putting it aside and doing other things, and I think it's about time I complete it. So what it is, it's basically a piece of fabric. I think this is muslin. It was a coffee bag actually that I pulled apart. I used the zipper for something else, and it leaves me with this piece of fabric, which is really nice base for doing a snippet roll. It's not too thick and it's got that natural color, and I don't worry about this because it's going to be covered anyway with other pieces of fabric. So it's basically that, and then on top of it I would put different strips of fabric, lace, sometimes longer, smaller, and just try to cover it all up. Now I don't have any heat and bond or things like that, so I basically have to just do it with those pins. I suppose I could put a little bit of glue stick to hold it in place, but it tends to move anyway, so I just put it roughly where I want it to be, use pins, and take it over to my sewing machine, and then as I stitch I can always readjust positions. So I'd probably start stitching from one end to one, and the next one, and the next one, and once they're all secured without the pins, then I can do decorative stitching on top if I want to. I'll stitch this one, and then I'll make another one in front of the camera just so you can see my thought process and how I go about it. Unfortunately I can't film me stitching because my machine is over that way facing the window, and it's one of the old ones, so I can't actually lift it and put here. It's got its own stand, and there's no way I can put the camera there, so I'll have to do it off camera and then I'll show you the end result. Okay, so that I've stitched it all together using a zigzag stitch. You can probably see what it looks like at the back. This is basically just to hold it together. Decorations come after. So what I do now is I need to trim this off, and I need to cut it half and then half again. So for that I need this, and I need this. cut it in half. Yep, looks really nice. Now on this end here, I didn't stitch it because this is the end that I'm gonna attach to one of the other pieces. So I just lift this, put that in, and then I stitch across. That's how I join these into one longer strip. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I'm gonna stitch this just using a zigzag stitch from both sides, trim off whatever excess there is, and I'm gonna zigzag all around this snippet roll just to make sure that these ends are secure so nothing comes apart. Okay, I stitched all around using zigzag stitch just to secure these threads because I cut them up. So I have all of this around now that I want to, like the longer ones can be trimmed, and sometimes I use like flame, like lighter, but I don't know, I do get burnt sometimes, but I'll show you what I mean. Oh, I can't show you. They're all empty. So basically I just trim the ends. A little bit is fine, but sometimes you get the long ones and it's just annoying. Like so. Okay, and once that's done, I check for any loose ends if something needs to be stitched again or reinforced, and then I decorate. But before I decorate this one, I want to do another one, actual design in front of the camera, because this one I put together a few days ago before I started filming, so I thought I'd do one from the start. It turned out really nice, and once we add other elements like charms and buttons and ribbon and you know, cute things, it's gonna look even better. not very organized when it comes to recording these videos. I'm obviously new at this. So I start one project and I jump to another, and then I don't know where I'm at. So sorry if I confuse you. I confuse myself sometimes. Okay. Now, to start, we need a piece of fabric that's going to be our base. I would put everything on it, cut it in like 4 long strips and join 2 together to get like 2 rolls like this. Okay, so the measurements, I think, where is my, it measures roughly about 11.5 inches by 26.5 inches. So 11.5 by 26.5. Can be any dimensions, doesn't have to be like this. Whatever fabrics you have, like even if it's a short one, it's fine. A longer one or strips. But for this project that I'm doing, it just works for me. Now, you need scraps, and I have plenty of them. Okay, so look at this. They're not even sorted by the color, but I'll just see what sort of colors I've got here, and I'll pick a color scheme. So if I have a lot of browns and beiges, I'm gonna do one that's in that kind of color scheme. That seems to be the case. There are some shorter pieces as well. You can use them as well. They all have like not all of them, some of them have this sort of like a tape at the back, because they actually come off fabric samples, and which is the top part. It's got holes in it. I should probably remove this tape, but I don't have to do it now. I can do it later after I lay down my design. I'll probably do one by one, just with a bit of iron to remove as much as I can of the tape. Although it makes the fabric a little bit sticky, so it will be easier for me to work when I place the pieces down. They might actually stand, because for this project, it would be ideal if you had some sort of heat and bond or something like that, but I don't have any of that, and I couldn't find it anywhere in the shops here. So what I do, I lay down my design first loose, and then I just use ordinary glue stick, put a little bit, stick the fabric and let it dry. And also I would use just pins, these ones, just so it kind of stays in place while I'm stitching. It seems to me there's a lot of browns in here, so, and beige in these colors, so I'm gonna just pull out a few to see what I'm dealing with. Okay, and they seem to be like almost the right dimensions, so okay. Use this one as well. I might add a bit of green and blue. Got a few pieces and a piece of lace. It's a bit light, but I can work with that. now. I've got plenty. Okay, now I need to arrange it on this piece of muslin. So, where to start? Okay, I might start with this one here. I'm gonna look in my box of scraps to find more of that blue. Look, I found this. It's even better. Oh, I want that. Alright, I think I'm kind of happy with this. I might just look for some more sheer fabrics to put on top, like this. This can go somewhere. Maybe there. I'm gonna cut it like this because I want to put it this side. Got more of this. I want it somewhere where it will stand out. Like that, maybe there. Keep the flowers in one piece. Put there. I think I'm happy with this as it is now. So what I want to do now is, if you can see the whole thing. Yep. I'm gonna now just take pins and basically attach it to this. But before I do that, the pieces that have this paper at the back, I have to remove it. And the easiest way to do it is to actually press it with a hot iron, and then just peels off, and it stays a little bit sticky, so when I press it down it stays in place. Otherwise I would just use glue stick, put a little bit down and then stick the fabric, and I let it dry, add a few more pins, and then it's ready to be taken to the sewing machine. Okay, I'll just quickly get rid of all of this backing and then I'll be back. Before I take this to the sewing machine, I want to make sure I stuck everything down a little bit with some glue stick. So this is how I do it. Like, I've got an empty spot here, so I want to put this there. Just press. I mean, it's not permanent fixture, but it will hold, and I'll add a few pins and it should be alright. That, this one loose here. With the laces, I'm not going to glue them because I might have to move them around while I'm sewing, so I always add that last. It's like a last step. So I'll put them where I want them to be and just use pins to hold it in place. Now, while I was gluing this to the base fabric, I have moved these and now I can't remember where they were, so I'm just going to put them wherever. Oh, it happens. I think this was it there? Oh, I'm so unorganized. I want to make sure when I put these flowers that they're not actually right in the middle where I'm going to cut, because I'm going to cut this here and here later when it's finished, obviously. So I don't want it to be like right in the middle, so maybe there. Okay, let's put it there. seems to be, yeah, nothing's falling off. So when I'm working, if I'm gonna start, for instance, on this side, I'll just roll this like that. And it's actually much easier to work with now, just easier to turn around and twist, because I'd probably go zigzag here, then turn it this way until I get to the other end, and then as I go here I would probably roll this up. And yeah, I'm working on setting up a second camera near my sewing machine, but until then I'll have to do it off the camera and then show you the end result. Okay, I have stitched all the pieces together. Those two, and we have those two. Okay, on this one we hardly have any blue, so I might attach that one to that one, and here we have two pieces as well. I can attach this one to that one. Okay,